Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Caravan of Garbage, where we're going to be looking at both of the Alien v Predator movies.
Why, you might ask? Dunno.
I don't know.
They're doing a Predator movie.
Oh, that's cool. Think it'll be better than this?
Yes.
Terrific.
Having not seen it, definitively yes. Please leave a like if you could, because of course we're talking about today the 2004 horror classic, Just Aliens vs. Predator.
Sure.
Aliens vs. Predators.
Just garden variety Alien versus Predator. AVP.
AVP, yeah.
So this was sort of a long time coming. This
Yeah.
was a matchup that people had been looking forward to for a really long time. Because if you recall, the Alien franchise and the Predator franchise were separate. But then, of course, in Predator 2,
Yeah.
Danny Glover, the actor Danny Glover, he made it to the Predator spaceship.
Yeah, he got lost on the way to a Lethal Weapon premiere.
That's right.
And ended up there. He had to
Yeah.
fight his way out.
That's right.
Nobody believed him. Good thing they got it on film.
And amongst the Predator's trophies were the banana-shaped head of an alien, the xenomorph itself, and people were like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
what's
I know,
that
right?
gonna, what's gonna? Maybe they're in the same freaking universe.
I thought they had like an exoskeleton.
What do you mean?
Like the alien. They're like an ant. You know what I mean? That's on the outside.
And
I just didn't think it'd have like a skull, like a big banana skull under
I see
there.
what you're saying. Okay, right.
I thought it had a carapace and then just a big squishy brain in there.
I guess you're probably right, but I always imagine them as like that long skull,
Yep.
and then like a skin that is unto like an eggplant.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
You can fry it up, make a parmigiana out of it if you're a vegetarian, perhaps.
Not great if you've got reflux.
Oh yeah, acid reflux.
That was the joke I was doing.
Acid, because they got acid for blood, James. You didn't even know. You made a funny. You said your standard funny words, your odd stuff that you say.
Okay,
You actually made a funny joke. But then, of course, Dark Horse Comics got the license for both of those monsters and decided to team them up in Alien vs. Predator, the comic book.
Now, did that come before Predator 2?
Dunno.
I think it did.
Might have done.
Anyway, so yeah, you're right. This was a long time coming.
Yeah.
And that was just supposed to be an Easter egg in Predator 2.
So the Predator had an Easter egg as its trophy?
yeah.
Did it kill the Easter Bunny, James?
Yeah, probably, sure.
Oh no.
That's fine. It's fine.
Kids, adults, turn your kids away from this YouTube video. Don't let them know.
And Alien vs. Predator is a PG-13 movie, so kids can be watching both this video and that
They can
movie.
watch and enjoy it.
That's right. But so 20th Century Fox, they went, maybe there's something here. There isn't the internet, but we're probably getting letters about this.
That's right.
We can hear some buzz.
Team up the Alien and the Predator. All right. Sound the crossover horn.
So they went to Roland Emmerich to direct this film back in the late 90s.
The king of the blockbuster.
That's right. And around this time also, 20th Century Fox were considering producing an Alien film, a fifth Alien film, which, get this, written by James Cameron, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Sigourney Weaver.
That's a killer combo.
Yeah, but...
Did they make it?
Well, Paul W.S. Anderson, director of this movie, he went in with a big pitch and he said, Alien! Aliens versus Predators.
Oh, so he did the classic James Cameron where he went, James Cameron famously and allegedly, when pitching the movie Aliens, walked into the movie studio, and he wrote Alien on a big piece of a paper, and then after it he wrote an S, and then he turned the S into a $sign, and people were blown away by his gumption and his moxie. You're saying that Paul W.S. Anderson
did a
wrote
similar
Aliens versus Predators, and he turned all the S's into $signs.
That's right. And that sort of paid off. So they went in the room, we're going to greenlight this, which wiped out the other project, which, look, frankly, would have been a better movie. So as a result of this, James Cameron, Ridley Scott both distanced themselves from that fifth Alien movie. They walked away.
They didn't walk away. They got into their separate submarines.
Yes, that's right. And they drifted off. And they had some thoughts about this movie, which we will talk about later. But speaking of this movie... This is Prometheus. This is the movie Prometheus.
It's a lot of things. It's the movie Prometheus. It's shades of The Thing.
Yep.
It's shades of Cube. Remember Cube?
It does. It's got big Cube vibes.
Big Cube vibes. Was this before or after Cube? Dunno. Not going to check.
I think it was after.
Yeah, it was probably after.
Because like Prometheus, one of the Wayland boys.
Waylon Jennings.
That's right. Employs a team of scientists to explore an alien structure that has been discovered, right? And then as a result, they're slowly picked off one by one because they're a pack of idiots running around a maze. And then also Wayland is dying and he's like, oh, I want a legacy. I want to live on.
Let me just puff on my rich man's inhaler. Oh, it's filled with gold and precious gemstones. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it fixing my emphysema? Why aren't these rubies fixing my emphysema?
Now, I say it's like Prometheus. And I've said this before, and I stand by it. I think it's, in terms of a story, it's more coherent than Prometheus.
Sure, but the same way, it's way more basic than.
Yeah, exactly. It's way more basic, and the cast isn't as stacked as Prometheus.
There are good players in this.
I completely agree.
Sanaa Lathan as Alexa Woods, who's the sort of the de facto main character.
Yep.
We got one of my favorites, Colin Salmon, a very charming one of that guys, is kind of the Wayland's second in command.
Yep.
Making a lot of big bad mistakes. What's that guy? And he's in the Rundown. He's the pilot, and he plays the bagpipes.
Oh yeah, he's from Trainspotting.
Yeah, he's in Trainspotting. He's in all sorts of stuff. Yeah, he's great.
I completely agree.
What's his name though? I gotta find it.
His name is Peter Trainspotting.
Ewan Bremner.
Yeah. He's also in the movie Pearl Harbor.
But of course, it's also got Lance Henriksen, who of course was Bishop in Aliens.
Yep.
And this makes it canonical that at least one model of android that company made is like directly referencing the founder of the company, which is wild. Do you think in the future there'll be like Jeff Bezos bots?
Oh, probably.
Spaceships will be managed by Jeff Bezos bots.
Just whipping us.
Yep.
You might be right. Well, yeah, because it's interesting. Lance Henriksen reprises his face. He's a completely different character. But he also plays what is probably a human version of Bishop in Alien 3. But there is some dispute in terms of, is that an android or is that a man? It was meant to be a man when they filmed it, but you see his ear like hanging off, so there's been speculation that he's not.
Men's ears can hang off.
It's true. It's great. It's great to know.
Now and in the future. Probably in the future even more so.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, so the pyramid, right? There's a ritual that the predators are taking part in. Here's how the story goes. So
it's less a ritual and more of a prank as far as I'm concerned, but all right.
On everybody?
The people on Earth consider it a ritual, I guess. The people of the past. This pre-Mayan, pre-Aztec kind of culture.
Yeah, but it's stupid. So the ritual is 3 Padawan predators shoot a big laser from space to melt a 2,000-foot deep hole to reach an underground pyramid, which was also a whaling station, but this whaling station was built on ice, which is fucking ridiculous.
No objections here. Go on. Keep going.
Then they use a heat signature to lure any people in the area to this spot. Then they descend the hole and enter the pyramid. This is the predators. And they enter the sacrificial chamber. And if there's not any people in that chamber already, they presumably drag a bunch of people down and set them up on their little tables to get egged, right?
Yeah, sure.
There's also guns in that room, predator guns. But if you remove the guns, that sets everything in motion. So you got to grab the guns and get out of the room as quickly as you can while the people are lying on the tables, right?
Yes.
So if they are lying still and you get the guns and you run out of the room, then you take a short break during the gestational period, which is much shorter than normal. Presumably they're all sped up.
Well, that's interesting, because the predators release the alien facehuggers, then they
slow motion jump.
They do their business in the humans.
Yeah.
And then, they very rapidly turn into seemingly thousands of aliens at some point.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and you're right. Almost the growing up period of these aliens in this movie is like 5 minutes.
I think it's like life. You know what I mean? As you get older, things get quicker. It's a metaphor, and I like metaphors, and I always understand them. Then the predators have like a protein bar or something, while they wait. And then, if they've got their guns, it's basically they play fucking duck hunt with everything.
Yes, sure do.
But if they don't have the guns, they all get murdered.
Very quickly, yeah.
So the predators in this, I feel like they're too wide. They're really big.
The thing about both the aliens and the predators, and I think they are very wide.
Yeah.
The problem, I think, with this movie as opposed to really any of the other alien or predator movies is the point of those other movies is they are the aliens and the predators are so they're a lurking terror at all times.
Yeah.
They're hidden in the shadows. They're something we don't see until the midpoint of the movie or a crucial juncture. We build up a tension and then the creature is there and it blows us away. But in this, the assumption is we've seen the aliens and the predators before in previous movies. So this movie's just like...
Get on with it.
Here they are. Here's a few of them.
You've seen these?
Yeah.
This is the thing you've seen.
More of this. What do you reckon about that, eh? And also the thing about what some would regard as the best examples of those franchises, Aliens and the original Predator, the joy and the fun of those movies is the protagonists start out as like the ultimate badasses and we see them being absolutely arrogant in their military superiority over everything. And the fun is the twist where it turns out that they're actually no match for these creatures.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for the Vietnam War. I've seen another metaphor. I always got it.
And in this movie, just the aliens and the predators just wailing on some just regular people, just some researchers and people who've been on the ice before, you know.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
But to answer your question, they're out there, and a lot of the terror, I think, is taken away when you see that they're just men in suits standing about.
But I think, though, there is something to be said for the practicality of this. The fights in this are 70% like either puppets or people in suits and things like that, and I think that absolutely works. I think genuinely it's a great looking movie. I like the atmosphere. I haven't mentioned this. I quite like this movie. It's not brilliant.
Sure.
But no, I think there's some really decent fight scenes in this. Like the bit where the alien gets its tail cut and it's just like whipping acid about. I think there's some really good ideas and there's like good imagery. There's a moment where you see a xenomorph on top of a pile of bones, you know, and I'm like, oh, that could be a poster in a kid's room, you know what I mean?
What a cheeky chappy. There he is. There he is on his throne of bones.
And I also love how sometimes you'll see like a real thing and then it becomes like a holographic map that the predator's looking at or vice versa. And that happens several times.
Incredible.
But I also like how the predators, like always, I guess, they're kind of stupid. And they're supposed to be young in this as well. Like the main one who lives the longest takes his mask off. You know where you are. You know what you're here for.
If you take your mask off, all the humans will know you're not one of them. They'll figure it out.
Nearly straight away, probably. But I don't like how the predators and the aliens both growl like lions at different points. They make similar, like...
I think they should have different animal noises.
Yeah, one should go, ha! The other one should go,
One should quack like a duck.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. One thing I also like about this is the alien queen, which is, I think, even to this stage, to this very day, is the biggest alien queen that we've seen in cinema.
Oh, the biggest queen we've seen.
Because it's technically supposed to be like hundreds, maybe thousands of years old. That imagery of it all, which I think is from a comic as well, of it all being like chained up and frozen and made to do this thing. It was also the most sophisticated animatronic ever built at the time. Twice as many moving parts as the T-Rex from the original Jurassic Park. And they also put in this technology where if they did a movement, they could then record it digitally and then redo it. So I think all that comes through really well. Like the movements of it are quite good. And even when it's free running and CGI, I think all of that looks genuinely terrific.
How do you feel about the duck noises though? That it was.
I mean, you know, it's not. I mean, it's traditional. It's
Isn't
tradition.
It is tradition.
So you can't really get rid of it, can you?
But of course, at the end of the movie, it is roundly defeated when the main protagonist and her predator friend chain it to a big sort of water tank and then kick into the ocean. That's not going to kill it, is it?
Well, I looked into this. I went, what questions...
If it's thousands of years old and it's been in cryogenic suspension. And they can definitely breathe underwater. Yeah, and in space as well. That's right. Well, it also mirrors what happens to that one in Aliens. You know, it gets like shot out into space. Sure. It's a similar situation. But presumably at those ocean depths, like it will be crushed. Probably. I don't know. Maybe someone should go down there and check it out. I think they should.
I mean, that's if it's even down there, because is this canon? To borrow a famous line from the wonderful YouTube channel, Toy Galaxy, Mason, do you want me to talk about whether this is canon?
I would love to hear about it.
Great. No.
Oh.
So Prometheus rendered this non-canon, right? And also when Ridley Scott and James Cameron heard about this crossover, they dismissed it as milking the franchise, right?
Okay.
And when asked about his opinion on the finished film, Scott jokingly stated that he had to be careful not to damage his very nice relationship with 20th Century Fox. However, Cameron, on the other hand, admitted that he enjoyed it despite his initial reservations and placed it third on his favourite of the Alien movies.
Wow.
So there you go.
But he made pains to say, not canon though.
Yeah.
This is a real imaginary story.
But here's the other thing. It's not canon in the Alien universe.
Okay, but it might be canon in the Predator universe.
Yes, because the spear that she uses, that she gets given when they fight together, that's in the Predator, I believe.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, it could exist there, but not vice versa, as it were.
Right.
Wow, so that's our famous segment from the show. Is it canon? It's not from Toy Galaxy,
No.
which is a YouTube channel that is very good, but you should probably just stay here, I reckon.
Yeah. At least till the end of this. Maybe the end of this video, see where the YouTube algorithm takes you. If it's more about our videos, stay on the channel.
Obviously. But forget the name. Toy Galaxy.
Correct, yes.
Anyway, it's time for green trivia.
I'd love to talk about some green trivia.
I wish I could change it to like green glowing predator blood trivia, but everybody locked me into green trivia. This is your fault, everybody. Check out the Green Lantern episode if you want to know where this comes from. Anyways, as mentioned, this is the only film in the Alien or Predator franchise to be PG-13. However, there was an R-rated DVD cut.
Uh-oh.
It was also rumored that it was originally R-rated and it was cut down, but Paul W.S. Anderson was like, no, this is how it was supposed to be. I think
weak.
I
made it weak.
But I think it gets away with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Because you can cut up a creature, but you can't like see it like a human's face get sliced in half or whatever. So,
The Alien Queen has that expletive-laden rant where she's telling all the other salespeople to always be closing.
That's right, exactly. In an interview, director Paul W.S. Anderson said that Arnold Schwarzenegger offered to reprise his role as Dutch Schaefer from the original movie at the end as a cameo, but only if he lost the election for California governor. So presumably he stepped out of a press conference. His ties are skewed because he's just conceded defeat. And just like, hi, I'm from I'm doing movies again, and I'm the one from the Predator movie. I'm not my twin brother from that Predator comic, where I have a twin brother who's a police officer.
This is me, Dutch Schaefer. I'm wearing a suit because I sell used cars now. And I just wanted to say what a sorry state of affairs we're looking at right here with these aliens and or predators. I'm really something, I'll tell you what.
This is also Paul W.S. Anderson's second movie in a Ridley Scott universe because, of course, he directed Soldier.
Oh, yeah,
which
with
is
Kurt Russell.
A Blade Runner spin-off or something.
Sure is, maybe.
Yeah. It's interesting because this movie's working title was actually the same name as the movie. So it was Alien vs. Predator, which is not dissimilar from the original working title for Star Wars 1977, which was Blue Harvest.
Terrific.
Yeah,
that's a
I
great
know,
bit of
right?
Trivia.
Yeah. And your favorite, as mentioned, Mason, Colin Salmon. You noticed in this, he gets kind of cubed by a net, by a big net. And he's like, I'm stuck in this net.
Like a salmon.
Like a salmon. And also, like he was cubed in that first Resident Evil movie in the laser corridor.
Oh my God, also directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
Exactly.
Wow.
And also,
you think you request that?
Yeah.
From Paul W.S. Anderson? He's like,
get me cubed. And last bit of green trivia, Lance Hendrickson became the second actor to be killed by an alien, a predator, and a Terminator. Bill Paxton was, of course, the first.
That's right.
And that's fun. Now, the budget for this, it cost around $60 to $70 million. They actually kept a lot of this budget down, they reckon, by about $20 million by moving it from Hollywood, Mason, to Prague, where you can build a big temple and it's much cheaper to build a big pyramid, you know?
They just dynamite it as you're flying away.
Exactly. It ended up making $177 million at the global worldwide box office. Now, without adjusted for inflation, this is actually the most successful Predator movie.
Whoa.
I mean, with inflation and DVD sales and the like, that would not be true.
Predator plushies and so forth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think, though, that has a lot to do with it being PG-13, which means it's more accessible to more people or whatever. But a lot of people, though, didn't like that it was, it was like a kind of a sanitized version of these characters. Sure. And of course, there was a direct response to that being the sequel to this, because at the end, there's a Predalien. And it's like, bah!
Sure.
I promise you I'll be in another movie. I swear to God. Quack. Yeah, so we'll be coming back to talk about that next week. And if you're interested in The Predator, and if you're interested in our private Patreon called bigsandwich.co, we're actually doing a commentary for the movie Predator, Original Predator, if you do want to check it out.
Original Recipe Predator.
That's right. There's a bunch of exclusive stuff there, including our podcast, The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. That goes up there a day early on Sunday as opposed to Monday. A bunch of movie commentaries, as mentioned. Bonus podcasts. Early videos, including these Caravan of Garbage videos, and etc. and so forth, and various other plugs that go here. There's you'll see a screen of it. I'd love to also know, and I know Mason is the same, what are your thoughts on this movie? Do you enjoy it?
It's all right.
I mean, you did have a massive migraine after watching this.
That is true. And I did watch the first 50 minutes twice because I watched it once and I'm like, didn't take any of that in, to be honest. Literally nothing. Nothing went into my brain. And then I watched it again and went, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Did it feel long, though, after doing that?
No, not really.
Okay, great. Well, that's something.
Yeah, put that on the box. You can watch the first 50 minutes twice.
You won't even know.
Yeah.
And, of course, if you do have any suggestions for Caravan of Garbage, please leave it below. All right, bye, everybody.
Grab that jam, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.